tonight's topic is concerning an email that I had received a few days ago regarding the product that I offer to people and exactly what it is that I do for a living. This is the focal point, which leads to a broader question that I have, that I had an email filled to the hilt with questions regarding a potential customer. He was curious to know the legitimacy behind my background as well as my product and the company that I represent and the genre of business that I conduct myself in. And despite the fact that I had given him volumes of research that are fairly legitimate, not just regarding advertising and as such, but more so medical and scientific background that spans over 3 decades, and entrepreneurial awards regarding the marketability and the recognition and success of my company and the efficacy of my product, because, as anyone can know, the success of any company is a direct reflection of whatever it is, a service or a product that they offer people. Despite all of this information, this particular individual found it necessary to continue to find reasons to not only refuse my product, but to continue to stab away at it to hopefully discredit its legitimacy. Which leads me into tonight's topic, why it is that we suffer from this disease of scapegoating. I understand it in the sense that in modern social etiquette, people generally don't enjoy the concept of potentially insulting a person. And those who don't care, then fine. But generally, people will find any excuse to either get them out of the picture and the blame off of them, or to make excuses to not do something rather than to point the finger and say, I don't want to do this because it doesn't interest me. And this particular individual, I felt, was making excuses for himself, knowing that this particular product could benefit him, and yet he wanted to make excuses whether for his lack of financial security or just his wanting to do it, but out of sheer human nature refusing it, for whatever reasons he had in his psychology, which I understand. But when you get down to it, I suppose it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm more of a logical thinker than an empathizer, or even a sympathizer for that matter. And not to say that I'm heartless, but I do have mind over body, so many times it doesn't make sense to me when you can offer someone a product that will improve their life, and yet they find reason not to take it, even though there really is no reason there. They will make something up. And I suppose my wondering is if it's making up for some other deficiency in their character. I suppose this is more of a rambling than a blog. I promised my readers a video blog at some point this week, and I do seem to be tied up for the rest of this week. So currently it is 8:30 p.m. on a Monday, and I am absolutely exhausted. And this is the best that I can do. So to my readers, I do apologize, but it is a very simple question, and I do appreciate any feedback from you. Why is it that we find it necessary to point the finger and blame others for our shortcomings, and not so much just to do that, but to do it in the face of just sheer obvious blame, that it is painfully clear to the person that you're making excuses to that you have no other reason for making these excuses other than to protect yourself from an illegitimate deficiency. And to me, it doesn't seem to make sense, and that's probably because I don't really empathize with people. I go as far as to understand them, but that doesn't mean that I will excuse them. So, call it what you will, but it is business, and it is my business to understand human psychology. So do help me out with this one, and I appreciate your time again. Have a good night.